Hey everyone, Spirited Drop from the back of a taxi, and I'm checking in after the peak of the new moon a couple of days ago, and I did post about how triggered I've been and these rage surges that I've been having during the week, and that obviously hit a chord because I have been inundated with some very funny comments, particularly about the butter knife in the eye statement that I made. So anyway, I always love hearing from people who listen to these Spirited Drops, and particularly if there's something in it that is useful for you, even if it's just the feeling that you're not alone. That can be wildly useful. So anyway, I've sort of popped out at the other end of my quite tricky week, feeling a little bit relieved that no harm was caused from my actions, and also some clarity on what all of these different experiences were giving me in terms of just standing firm in what I believe to be good behaviour and what I believe to be my values. And so all of that's really good. But I did employ a couple of different techniques as well that I thought I'd share with you now that might be, again, useful if you're still within an Aries rage malaise. And so first of all, use your voice. So last night we had the April New Moon Lodge, which is my monthly women's circle that I've been running for 11 years now, and I asked a beautiful practitioner, Diana, from the Elemental Practice, to guide us just in a song circle, and it couldn't have come at a better time. And it was a small group, it was beautiful, and we got together. I dusted off my drum and my rattle that have been begging to come out of their storage place for some time now. This year, really, I haven't done any drumming, and so it was a pleasure to get those beautiful tools and allies out. And we sang, we hummed, we made sound, and it was just such a fabulous reminder of how powerful the voice is when rooted in the body to change out frequency. And so that would be one thing. Gibberish as well, I quite love as well, where you make a lot of crazy sounding noises that don't have any logical sense. So it's almost like a sort of a pure translation of whatever energy you're feeling into sound. So use your voice. So accessible, it's there. I did read an article, I was a little while back, about how there have been in the UK groups of women who've found each other, and they go into the forest and do night howling. And I thought if we did that in Singapore, we'd get arrested. But I really love the idea of that, similar idea. So go somewhere where you feel safe, where you feel seen, where you feel unabashed, and use your voice. That would be the first one. The second thing that I did turn to this week, which I do on the new moon and on certain Sabbaths as well, is ritual. So I love making offerings on the new moon. I've got my own sort of spiritual team that I make offerings to, and I also like to mark the new lunation, because most of my magical operations I peg to the lunar cycle, and I love that. I love that there's just that gorgeous sort of spiral of the month that we can release, and we can call in, and we can reverse, or we can attract, and we can track. So I did my new moon offerings at the dawn on Friday, which was the new moon yesterday. And what I also offered, aside from my usual substance offerings, was my emotion. So I still had a lot of quite edgy emotion, and I offered that as well to my growth, my evolution. Because when you think about emotion, really, it's just energy, right? It's raw fuel. And so I made that part of my offerings in my ritual for the new moon, and I was sharing with the ladies in the circle last night. I had such a beautiful affirmation that it was well received by my spirit team. I was finishing up my meditation, and I was down by down on the south end of Singapore Island. There's a really beautiful tree there that I have been meditating with and doing ritual under for years, and I love it. And there's no one around, and there's no buildings around, and it's right by the sea as well. So it's a gorgeous sort of conflux of like earth and sea and sky. It faces east, so I get the dawn, and then there's this magnificent tree behind me with all these gorgeous roots, and this tree and I have become very good friends. And so I was at my ritual spot, and I'd performed my ritual, and I was just sitting in the beautiful feeling of all of that with this fiery, airy sky dawning. And I just put out a sort of a feeling like, oh yeah, that felt good, and I hope all of my energy and my offering has been received well, and may everyone be pleased, and may everyone be at peace. This is my spirit team and ancestors and my crew. And just as I was thinking that, and just as I was sort of coming back out of the meditation, over the sea is this really wonky, beautiful butterfly, and whoop, it landed like right on my lips, like this, just for a few seconds, and then off it went again. And it was so random and so unexpected and so beautiful that I couldn't help but take that as just a direct kiss from the universe, that I had offered these edgy emotions and as part of the energy of my offering. So, and it was received well, and I got a little kiss on the lips from this beautiful little butterfly that's happened to be flying over the sea. Who knows how it works. Anyway, so I wanted to leave that with you. So if you're still feeling a little edgy, or this isn't just for new moons, this can be any time that you've hitting up some edges, you're doing the inner work, you're recognizing the patterning, but you've still got that latent sort of reactive energy. Use your voice and offer it as a very worthy energetic offering and ritual to your ancestors, to your spirit guides, or just to your own evolution. It's kind of the same thing. All right, I hope that's got you thinking. You have a good weekend. Bye.